start of this year. New member of the PDC ranks. He's not played every single tournament, but he has been a regular. This is his 9th
85.
PDC ranking event. Didn't play the UK Open qualifiers, but he has played a number of the Players' Championship events, which is obviously a big
24.
commitment, flying back and forth from Canada. I have to admit, I'm not sure what John Norman and his
57.
living arrangements or commitments are, so I don't know if he is flying back and forth or if he's staying here for a big chunk of the year. Last time out
96.
in Barnsley, he was first round loser on both days, losing to Mensur Suljovic and Benito van der Pas. I mean, tough couple of draws that. Yesterday, he was drawn against Kim Huybrechts in the first round. Kim Huybrechts did him 6-1. Was here on Friday, tried qualifying for the European Tour event in Hamburg, but he was beaten by Steve Lennon in deciding leg. So the only game he has won since the start of March was a first round game here in Milton Keynes
49.
on the Sunday against Madars Razma. Then he got Mensur Suljovic again, who did him 6-2. But a learning experience for John Norman Jr. He has won things back in his native Canada. The Ontario Open, the Molson's NL Fall Classic.
60.
You know the one, the Fall Classic, everybody's talking about it.
$135.
Well, gets him down to a finish there. Jacques could still do this if he hits the ball.
75.
Oh, he leaves himself 35. John Norman Jr. looking at a 158. Just dropping low with that first dart. It's a better thrown dart, but still didn't find the treble.
44.
That one misses the big number entirely. So Peter Jacques, a man who shocked everybody by going all the way to the final of the first Players' Championship event of the year. He sticks 2 just outside the double 16, and John Norman Jr., this is gettable. Treble 2014 tops. Treble 18 for tops now. Well, not a million miles away, John Norman Jr. See the maple leaf on the sleeve of his shirt there. Oh, hang
74.
on. Well, hits the double to leave tops. I'm not sure that's the sensible way to go, but it worked. And there's pressure on this for Peter Jacques now. What pressure? Man from Huddersfield does take out the double 16. Yeah, Peter Jacques had that run, and it just came out of nowhere, to be honest. You know, he'd come to Q School, played the first 3 days, and looked well set to get his tour card.
100.
But didn't turn up on the final day. He went and played county darts for Yorkshire, and that meant that he was just outside where he needed to be in the points list to be given a tour card. Now, that means that he can play Challenge Tour, and he is doing. In fact, he's had some success. He made a couple of quarterfinals on the Challenge Tour, but he was still so high up in the Q School order of merit, those points he'd accumulated in the first 3 days, that he is one of the first names that gets invited to make up the numbers when we have withdrawals. I mean, today is a very strange one that we've had so many late withdrawals, people with injuries,
140.
travel problems, etc. So we've actually got a much reduced field. I don't think we've ever seen a field which should be 128, but only 124 are playing.
78.
But Peter Jacques kind of gets the best of both worlds, because he can come play these, potential 10 grand to the winner. And don't say it can't happen, because it has happened. Joe Mernon won one of these when he was invited along to make up the numbers, essentially.
60.
And Peter Jacques made it all the way to the final and was only beaten by Alan Norris in the very first one.
130.
130 there for Peter Jacques. He just shows how well he can play. He is a very solid dart player. There's nothing wrong with a throw. May not be flashy, Peter Jacques, but he's effective. I mean, in his run to the final in that
96.
first Players' Championship event, he beat the likes of James Wade, Michael Smith, Gary Anderson. And double 10 is good enough for Jacques to double his lead. It is 2-0 to the postman from Huddersfield, who is delivering here in Milton Keynes.
$100. $140. $81. $100. $95.
Looking to fill it up.
180.
And he does do. Just a quick check from a marker there to see if John Norman Jr. had fired the third one into the treble. He did do, and it's a chance of an 11 darter here for
100.
the Canadian, as he looks to break the throw and get himself right back in this game. Treble 19. Yes, double 12. Double 6.
$69.
Not to be, and this would really hurt. Treble 20 for top. Tops. Oh, didn't give it a chance, just dragged it down. Peter Jacques, a real opportunity to go 3-0 up there, but misses a dart at tops. Double 6 for John Norman Jr. to get back in the game. Double 3 now, the Ashdown. Peter Jacques pulling away from him.
$99. $140.
1040 for Jacques. We know this one faces Joe Mernon, 6-5 winner against Robbie Green. We already know that the other board semi-final is Kim Hybrex
81.
taking on Wes Newton. Kim Hybrex, a number 6 seed here. The other seeded player was Robbie Green, but he's been knocked out.
45.
I'll take you through some of the scores elsewhere. I can tell you that some players have already made it through to their board finals. For example, Simon Whitlock, number 3 seed today. He got a bye through the first round because of those withdrawals, but he saw Ricky Evans 6-4 in the second, and he will take on either John Henderson or David Pallett, who both won their openers and are facing each other in their board semi-final. That's over on board 15. Winner of that board will face the winner of board 16. One seed has already gone out. Kyle Anderson was beaten by Paul Harvey. Paul Harvey will face the Magpie, William O'Connor, the Irishman. Another Irishman, Steve Lennon. He's in his board semi-final, but he's taking on the top seed, Mervyn King, who beat Jamie Lewis 6-0. Lovely stuff, Peter Jacques. What a set-up shot that is. 177 to leave double 8. Now, will he get a go at it? He will. John Norman Jr. managed to break in the last leg, but he could be broken straight back, and Jacques could re-establish that 2-leg advantage. Double 8. And there it is. Double 8 finds the mark, and Peter Jacques does go 3-1 up, throwing to make it 4-1 now. Quick adjustment of the specs. Peter Jacques, you can see there, his dart shirts.
95.
With his nickname, Jacquesy. From the Dave Chisnell School of Nicknames, Peter Jacques. Not sure if John Norman Jr. has got a nickname.
100.
John Normany Jr. would be the guess.
140.
Just missing out on the 180. Only had one in this game. It came from the Canadian. Peter Jacques still searching for his first one, but that 177 to set up the outshot in the last leg was just as good as any maximum. Joe Cullen and Christian Kiss to the top seeds, or the seeded players on board 14. Both of them have won through their opening games. Joe Cullen beat Harry Robinson. He'll now face Darren Brown.
83.
Christian Kiss saw of Kirk Shepherd, the former world finalist. Either Peter Hudson or Devon Peterson await there. Richie Burnett, the Prince of Wales, has won his opening game. That's over on board 1. We've got Peter Wright, yesterday's winner and the UK Open champion, nearly won the Premier League on Thursday. Brendan Dolan, former Grand Prix champion. Andy Hamilton, former Grand Prix finalist, I do beg your pardon. Andy Hamilton, former world finalist, and Richie Burnett, former world champion. What a couple of board semi-finals we've got there on board 1. No seeds left on board 2, though.
30.
Steve Beaton and Steve West both knocked out. Mark Webster, former Lakeside world champion, is there as Jacques looks double 16, now double 8. Bit of time to play with, but he doesn't need it. Takes it out, and it is 4-1. Peter Jacques moving towards the second round and a meeting with Joe Mernon.
100.
Keegan Brown, Berry Van Peer, Mark Webster, John Michael. They're the board semi-finals on board 2. Richard North. He's impressed a number of people, Richard North. He's won through against Brian Pecker Woods. Will face Chris Dobie in his board semi-final on board 3. The other board semi-final is Alan Norris and Wayne Jones.
140.
Ronnie Hybrex. One of the guys to hit a 9-darter on the stream this year. What a 9-darter it was. He's beaten the Terrifier Terry Roach.
140.
Over on board 4. Ian White and Ross Twell already winners on that board. Ronnie Hybrex will face either Jim Brown or Jordi Maywisser. John Bowles, saw him yesterday, beat Adrian Lewis. He's beaten Steve Hine today, the Muffin Man. He's going to take on Justin Pipe, seeded player, but that's on Michael Smith's board. And Michael Smith won his opener 6-0 against Martin Schindler. He might be a difficult man to stop on that board. Playing with confidence now, Michael Smith, having won the most recent European Tour event in Gibraltar. Brian de Hoog. Brian de Hoog, the Dutchman, whose name I struggle to say without thinking or saying along to the tune of All the Young Dudes. Brian de Hoog, he's in round 2. And he's playing James Wilson. John Norman Jr., 64. Well, that's a 7, so 17 for tops will be the route now. Tops it is, to cut the gap to 2.
44.
And he's not giving it enough. Low from John Norman Jr. Jacques could go for the ball. He does go for the ball, and that means that he's... Oh, look at this. Look at this, Peter Jacques. It is back to back. He hasn't hit a maximum all the way through this match. And then here in the 7th leg, Peter Jacques has gone 180, 180. And it leaves 141 for the perfect leg. Peter Jacques does not even own a tour card. But he's thrown 7 perfect darts. Oh, misses the 8th. Treble 19 would have given him a dart at double 12 for perfection. So close to seeing yet another 9-darter on live streaming action on PDC TV. But he leaves himself 48 to close this one out. John Norman Jr. is absolutely nowhere in this leg. Peter Jacques has dominated this one, to be fair. And he's got better as the game has gone on. Can he get better as the day goes on and maybe have another run like he did at the First Players Championship event when he went all the way to the final? It is an 11 darter for Peter Jacques to close it.